Is it working again? I think it's working again. Yay! Alright. This time I'm not tabbing back in, okay? I can do this while I'm playing normally, but this will have to make do for now. Of course, I had to stop the music, unfortunately, but you'll be stuck with my beautiful voice. And I need to check if the stream is still up. Yes, it is. Until it will be not. It's like everything in life. Everything works until it doesn't. Right, let's go for our outlap. I'm not really experienced with this car on this track. I'm gonna try and do whatever I can. About the understeer. It's already too early on the gas. So a substantial improvement. The exit here is a bit bad. Could have taken this in fourth, but I didn't think I could. This setup is a bit more understeery than what I'm used to driving here. The Mazda naturally oversteers a little bit more because of the lack of downforce in the rear. But my friend gave me the setup. Feels like they made the suspension a bit more grippy. Braking through that. I love the section. Fuchsröhre into Adenauer first. You brake a little bit here, go, oh shit, yeah, I love this. stayed in fourth there. Went down for third here instead. We'll see. Or no. I'm used to GT3 cars on this track, so sometimes you can really tell you have to put like one gear higher in this car. It feels like this transmission is geared very short. You can see it just fits. Don't bother going into fifth. Oh, it's not wrong on the board, but yeah, don't bother going into fifth there. Stay in third here. Nice. Like a glove. Like. One thing I could have shifted into fourth, or I would have to go back to third, like immediately. Just be wasted time. That was very tight, so very good mid corner there, but the exit was a bit. I hit the curb on the left there, and I already have to go off the gas in order to not hit it too hard. Up. Shifted too late. Well, I still hit the green sector time. Oh, good. Yeah, still hit the green sector time. Alright, this corner is deceiving. But you can actually take it in like flat in this car. You can't do that in GT3 cars. Nice and tidy through here, but here is a bit of a problem, so you can easily spin out at the carousel. Very easy. Here it's all about how much courage you can bring through these corners. White, not good. Setup used to kind of oversteer there a bit. I don't think you have to change it to third for this, but it was about. No. Look at how tidy it goes together. Just me oversteering a bit. Third. It's uphill. Maybe it could have stayed before, though. I'm not sure. Look at this. Great. Right around this corner, shifted to fifth. Down at the slope, shifted to fourth. It's just tasty. Rewards you for being because it's cambered, it's off camber, which means it can carry you inwards. Either inwards, or if you take it a little bit too much in the middle, it can take you outwards, and that's very, very dangerous because you hit the wall on the right side. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll make the green time here. The sector changes when we hit the bill stand. Sign right below us. This is another zone where you can make up a lot of time. Don't be a chicken. But you understood. See? Braking was great. Entry was okay. Mid corner understood. And then you were in it. Okay, let's go for our first hot lap. Let's see if we still have enough fuel. No, we don't. It doesn't matter. Let's just keep. Well, on the second thought, I didn't see that we were in 4th gear. Come on, change to 2nd, please. There you go. But hey, our optimal time is now 5 seconds down, which is pretty good. Which means if we were to drive this on a hot lap and if we were to keep it tidy, then we would probably be able to reach these 9 minutes and 54. Now, I had a chance to look at older times from VLN races. I'm not in too high of a split, so it wouldn't be required of me to drive top split times. Would love to still drive top split times though, don't get me wrong, but if I remember correctly, the quickest Mazda that I've seen in the lowest split possible was 1 minute and 3 seconds. Now I've already driven 1 minute and 3 seconds, so I could, you know, keep up with them, stay with them, maybe win the race. But the top split time was 9 minutes and 45 seconds. And keep in mind, that's during a race with full fuel. You wanna, you know, keep the Mazda up as long as possible. If I remember correctly, the Mazda, you see, it's always a thing. Okay, let's say 10 minutes per lap, and you drive 4 hours, because VLN usually is 4 hours. The next time it will be around at the end of the month. There will also be 4 hours, sorry. And the next one after that is going to be 6 hours. Now I've decided I'm either going to, in the next VLN race, run the Mercedes alone, the AMG GT3, or I'm going to wait for the 6 hours and then run the AMG GT3 alone. I've on the regular Nordschleife, not the regular Nordschleife, but the 24-hour layout of the track, because we're practicing for the 24-hour race. I think the week after, when VRS was on it, I drove 8 minutes and about like 12 seconds with the AMG, and then in my like free time, when I was practicing on it after VRS was gone from it, was using Nicky Team setup. Shout out to Nicky Team. You're like my spirit animal. You're the best person I've ever seen. I could just watch you for like hours and probably start sweating really hard because you drive like a madman. I always get half a heart attack when I see him drive. But 8 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay. My free time, of course, that was on low fuel and on best conditions, but it was about 8 minutes and 3 seconds. In this week with VRS going around, I used to win on a regular basis. Actually, I think after the fourth race, I was like, if it doesn't increase my split, or if they don't increase like me to like 2 or 3 splits, because I had to look at all these times, I would probably likely win every race I participated in. In iRacing, usually if you enter on a track, you have to qualify. There's 3 minutes of practice and 8 minutes of qualifying. You get 2 laps that you can do to qualify, and then the race. On any Nordschleife variant, it's different. There you actually qualify before the race even starts, before the session even starts, before you even register for a race. I think every half hour, not every half hour, but hourly to the half hour, you will be able to do a qualifying lap. Only one lap. If you fuck up, that's it. Then you have to wait an hour. But this time that is taken off the qualifying will stay for the whole week that the track is being run by the series. I had an 8 minutes and 12 qualifying lap, so in the splits I was racing I would always get pole. Now, if you're pole sitter from the first lap, you have clean air, you have the ability to dictate the start of the race. And usually you would get about a second of of a head start. And after that I was just pulling out gaps. It became boring after a while, to be quite honest. Still great to win on the Nordschleife. My absolute favorite track. This is like my home turf. But yeah, I was able to win the regular on lower splits. No, GT3 cars, since they're the most used series in these endurance races with like VLN or the Nürburgring 24 hours, it's very likely that there is a bottom split with only GT3 cars. And even like a split higher, it's probably GT3 cars and then a couple of other cars, like a couple of Porsches. And then a split higher, and it's probably a lot of GT3 cars, a couple of Porsches, maybe a Mazda or two, and then like one Kia Optima. Okay. Usually these are still like lower split, at least from the quality and from the pace that people run. So I actually wanted to go and win one of these VLN races, because I think, you know, it tests my ability to run on an endurance basis without the need of a team. I think there's a nice little challenge that you can have when VLN comes around, because VLN doesn't require you to have a teammate. Other endurance series like the VRS Endurance or the iRacing Le Mans Series Endurance, or big events like 24-hour races require you to have a second teammate at least, which I understand. I mean, for VRS Endurance maybe not so much, because they're just like 3 or 4 hour races. I'm pretty sure I can run 3 or 4 hours myself. But 6 hours, that is interesting. The longest time I was able to drive for in one session was against bots on Race Room Experience with what was it? Either the Porsche 911 GT3 or the McLaren 650S. One of these two. I ran 5 hours, no stop. Pit stops, but usually no stops. But the problem was the race actually was 10 hours long. I had to retire at 5 hours because I just couldn't take it anymore. And that is exactly why I want to run that 6-hour race alone, because I feel like I've evolved. I feel like my endurance has gone up. I feel like the amount of attention I can pay to driving is better now. And I just feel better when driving, I guess. Besides, my gloves help. The steering wheel, the force feedback, the quality of the suspension in iRacing feels much better than in race room. Race rooms, I like race room. I like race room very much, but I haven't encountered such a great suspension modeling in comparison to iRacing so far. I haven't ever tried rFactor 2, but I've been told that it handles similarly to iRacing, maybe even better. Suspension is one of the greatest things that I love about iRacing. Assetto Corsa has a great tire model, but it has a very plastic, artificial suspension, and it really does not translate well. But yeah, to each their own. Assetto is nice. I still drive it on a regular basis. iRacing is nice. Race room is nice. Race room I don't play it as much anymore because it feels a bit different. But I guess if I used to if I got into it again, especially with the Nordschleife, since their Nordschleife version is laser scanned, which is good, I would probably be able to, get myself used to it again. But currently running Assetto Corsa for an event of a friend, and iRacing for general driving purposes, I think I'm a bit booked out. Now I am going to look at something. What am I going to look at? I'm going to look at my tire information. Now the front tires, the left front tire is at 98%, while the right front tire is at 99%. What tells us this? That there is a shit ton of right side right-hander corners on the Nordschleife, and that I use about 2% of my left tire per lap. 10 minutes, 4 hours. Right, 4 hours. So 240 minutes, 24 laps that you need to run. 24 laps. So that's about 48% that the tires would fade. So there needs to be pit stop. You can't drive it at 48%. At the end of your of the race, you would literally feel like driving on ice. Couple that up with iRacing's not so iconic tire model, and you've got an interesting situation you find yourself in. Now the fuel. Let's fuel her up, because I want to see. I will not set record times now, so I won't get actually up to 9:54 with my current driving, at least, with full fuel. But I want to see how much fuel can it take, and how many laps I can run with that. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it down to add another 2. Alright, so 2 gallons equal about 2 laps that you can run. 2 for forward. I suck. There you go. So let's change the tires for good measure. So at 5 gallons, let's see, let's fill her up completely. I find it nice that iRacing simulates that you can see the fuel, how it's going in very slowly. That's because the fuel hoses on pressurized for the Mazda. So you see we can run about 13 laps, 13 exactly. Of course that won't be happening since we're probably going to rolling start, so we'll probably lose about 2.2 laps that we can run. So 12 laps. 12 laps, and we've got spare to get back to our pits. Now 12 laps. 12 laps. We need about twice of that. So after 12 laps, 2 hours, we have to pit for tires. We have to pit for fuel. After 12 laps, you lose about 24% of your tires, of your front tires, which isn't too shabby. Oh wait, no, hold on. Did we say 24 laps? Yeah, did we say 24 laps? Yes. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Sorry, I can't math. What's math? So yeah, we would lose 48% of the front tires if we didn't stint for tires. If we didn't take tires in the pits. So that is not an option. We have to change tires when we get into the pits. 24%. 24% tires gone on the front. That is about 76% tire thread remaining when we get into the pits. So yeah, it's pretty okay. You would lose massive time if you didn't pit for tires there. Of course we should have seen how long one of these pit stop actually takes. You know what, we'll do that. What we're gonna do, I think we can't like physically take less than 2 gallons. Yeah, we can't take less than 2 gallons. No, this isn't too accurate because we are going to have a little bit less fuel when we get back into the pits, but let's take full fuel and 4 tires. Right, and see how much the pit service time is. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to remove a second from the pit. No, sorry, add a second to the pit service time. So we're already on 41. 2 seconds. I'll go straight out for another outlap. 1 minute and 2 seconds, so 1 minute and 3 seconds in the pit stop. There goes my shifter again. Oh, that didn't sound good. I think we bottomed out there. still going off the best lap, so we might do technically a worse lap than the last lap, even though we're still in the green. Since we didn't really complete the lap earlier. Lost a bit of time. This time I'm gonna stay in fourth to go down this corner. Put the curb there on the exit, it's not good. But I think fourth is pretty good. There. Alright, let's see if we can take the flip that's still flat. Had a tiny bit of a lift there. But you can tell that we're losing more time than on the last lap since we're heavier now. We can't quite gain back lost time and speed. Wider through that last lap, it's a shame. And fix the middle, up onto I don't know how fast. There's a braking zone as I like. Stay in fourth here. Better through there than last time. On the left side, on our on our delta, you can see if we reach, if it goes purple, we pretty much beat the last time we said. That was a nice exit here. That was not that good. Much worse than last time. You see, I really saw that I'm understeering. I had to change into second gear there to prevent any fatalities. Whoa! And it's getting really slidey with the added weight. But time is still looking good. Nope. We didn't beat the last time, unfortunately. What if we do this in fourth gear? We will absolutely lose a lot of time. That's a shame. Should have done fourth gear. We're gonna lose all this time down the straight. This is the uphill section, so that was really important. Nicky Team always says that this is the most important section of the most important corner of the Nordschleife, because whatever you lose at the exit of that turn, we're gonna lose all the way down to the turn before the carousel. Even through the smooth curve here. Even here, the lost speed will not make up for it. aggressive, nearly shot myself. Still we didn't make up enough time. We really have to be aggressive with the set of corners here. Maybe even stay in 4th gear for this. Nope. Yes? No? Maybe? There, not good. Improved my time a bit. Maybe stay in 4th here. No. 4th is not good. There. This was called Ice Corvette. If I remember correctly, this is the Stefan Bellefass. Might be. Let's sum up what just happened here. Missed my gear, my shift, did a terrible job at recovering. Up, concentration's gone. Missed my gear shift, did a terrible job at recovering, shifted down too late, and went wide. And remember when I said that the corner is off camber, and if you take it too much in the middle, it will carry you out and you're down on the grass? And that's exactly what happened. That is exactly what I love with the Mazda MX-5. It has so much character. It has so much things you need to look out for. It tells so many stories. Every bump in this track. It's like a huge story. Right, here we're not allowed to chicken out again. No, we didn't chicken out the last time. We went wide, didn't we? Yeah, much better. Alright. Let's go for a proper hot lap, shall we? Like that was much worse than the last time. But hey, we're here to improve our personal best so far. We're not trying to beat the 54 yet. see if we can make up somewhere else. White there. I'm not sure if I want to take this in third or fourth. Alright. This was better, we carried much more speed through here. Maybe we can even beat the sector. If you remember correctly, on our first outlap we couldn't beat it. Well, actually we did beat it because we make up time here. Better, is this worse? Alright, back up into, I don't know, fast. This is better. Time. There was a bit of a roller coaster. I didn't know if it was oversteering or understeering. Where are you, Boiler? Right, this time let's take the other one in third gear. Stay in fourth, stay in fourth, stay in fourth. Alright, better. Optimum went down to 53. It's very good. This corner is heart attack material. Fucking carousel. The other one is like the stop and go a bit. There's two S's here. This section of the track. This is done. Good entry, good exit. Very good sector. Very good sector. That sector is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna touch myself to that. Right, moment of truth. Don't chicken out corner. I messed up the axis a little bit. Right, here's my personal best. 9:55, very good. Alright, let's look at some information. Please no bully that I changed into every single gear separately. Whew. Jesus. Sim racing is not for people that have problems with heavy sweating, but it's probably gonna make a heavy it's probably gonna make a heavy sweater out of everyone. It's a lot. But 9 minutes 55 shoved 8.62 seconds of my personal best. My last one. That is very good. Now if I can get off another 10 seconds, that would be absolutely beautiful. Now of course, in order to be able to shave off that amount of time, we would need a setup that is suited for it. One that has been made up by a god, probably. We're still talking about top split times, right? These people have driven the Mazda for all of their life, for all I can tell. But no, these people probably run the advanced Mazda Cup, the C class. Very nice series, very nice and strong competition. Open setup. There are a lot of famous tracks like Le Mans, like Suzuka, like Spa, like Nordschleife, the 24-hour layout. That was the last time I've driven one on. Back then I didn't really know how to drive the Mazda there, so I kinda crashed out. But I am very surprised that this thing can do 9 minutes and 55 here. It's a pretty nice car. I actually like the Mazda a lot. It's basically a motorsport cup built for the existing North American Miata MX-5. It just feels great. It feels like it's responsive, it's nimble, it doesn't oversteer too much, it doesn't understeer too much. You can basically fix these with setups. You can get the tail to go loose, you can get it to tighten up a lot, and make it understeer, be more safer, be a little more tidier through corners. Throttle response is pretty good. The problem with this car, but also the beauty of it, okay? The beauty and problem of this car is that this is a very technical car, which means it really puts emphasis on the importance of fast out, but slow in if applicable. You have to carry your momentum through the corner, as much momentum as you possibly can squeeze through the corner, because you cannot make up the amount of deceleration you have to go through before the corner. Like, if you decelerate slow and then exit out, then you can't exit fast because you don't have the speed. You can't build it up again. So this kind of feels like a car, like fast in, fast out. How does that work? No, I'm baffled. I don't know how that works. When I'm driving it, I just look that I can enter the corner as fast as possible, as tidy as possible, and then suffer the least amount of understeer at the exit. These are my three important points. The second point is tidy as you can through there. It means that you really have to hit the apex. You really have to get close to the apex. If you understeer and get wide, then you have to get off the throttle. You lose momentum. You can't make it up again, and you lose about what 2/10, 3/10 maybe, maybe even more, because you can't make up the speed. What I like about this on the Nordschleife is that the Nordschleife is like a mountain pass. It's like a closed mountain pass. It runs all the way around the mountain and then comes back towards the car village, basically. Does the Grand Prix track and then goes back to the mountain. It's a circuit built around a mountain, and that is what makes it so special. One of the things that make it so special. I know probably a lot of you have love, if you're into this kind of racing, if you're like into anime or stuff, or into Japanese cars, you probably have heard it everywhere. Mountain pass racing, stuff like Initial D or something. I mean, what we were listening to in the beginning, Eurobeat. Where is that fame? Where did that get its fame from? I mean, in connection with cars, at least. There is a beauty about mountain pass racing. I'm more of a fan of circuit racing, but as I saw that the Nordschleife was actually a mountain pass, technically, from how it's built, from how the corner flows, how off camber some of the corners are, the downhill sections, the uphill sections. I understood that this is not a normal circuit, this is a mountain pass circuit. It has a lot of downhill sections that really help this car. You can do a lot of trail braking as well. You can, granted, other than mountain passes, the Nordschleife has curbs, okay, as a safety purpose. I still don't know how in the slightest bit that helps for safety, because curbs on the Nordschleife kill you, and they kill your time. They slow you down, but they throw off your suspension so much you'd wish there was none. It's not there to keep you safe. It's there to fucking punish you. That and the restricted, the very tight walls next to the road of the Nordschleife. That track is punishing, and I don't want to say that's more punishing than mountain passes, because I know a lot of people have lost their lives on mountain passes, but a lot of people have lost their life on the Nordschleife. What's safer? Of course, you also have to take into consideration that these cars are completely safe. They're roll cages. They're built to protect the driver and on an impact. Mountain pass racing is most of the time illegal, and with normal stock street cars or tuned cars without safety equipment. But Would you rather if the Nordschleife would be like a little bit more open, that the guardrails would be a little bit less present? But I honestly think the Nordschleife is perfect as it is, and no one needs to change any of that. And I'm already salty about that they repaved the beginning section of the Nordschleife. I'm very salty about that. Very, very salty. Very salty. Nicky Team is also very salty. I mean, he said it, like, on the one hand, it like kills the character of the track. On the other hand, it's a shit ton of grip you gain. Like, it feels really smooth and really nice to drive on. And it's really fast. Problem with that is also like killing the bumps kills the fucking character of the track. I love the bumps. I had a discussion with someone earlier about that apparently I love bumpy tracks like the Nordschleife, like city circuits, or not city circuits from like Formula 1 that no one wants to watch. I like city circuits like Belle Isle, or like Long Beach. A lot of people are probably gonna disagree with that, but I also like Monaco more than what Monaco stands for. But it's also a nice track, but it's more of a nice track if you run it alone, get what I mean? I can see how motorsport would be boring to a lot of people that watch it. But you also have to take into consideration that maybe it's better if it's boring. I've noticed with a lot of non-boring motorsports, right? NASCAR, Rallycross, Rally, Formula 1 nowadays. There is a lot of show elements in it. They want to make it a show, so more people want to watch it. It brings more viewers, more customers. It makes it more exciting, more fun to watch. But it's filled with gimmicks, and it's filled with like I don't know how to put it, but maybe it's better if it's boring to watch, because then you see it's pure motorsport. There are people down there racing these cars. They're giving it their all. Maybe it's not as exciting to watch, but maybe if you put yourself into their situation, maybe it would be more exciting for you to see their struggle, the struggle with their cars, the struggle with back markers, struggle in fights, defending, attacking, maybe just the struggle of running pace. Just because cars are further apart from each other, there's no overtaking, no close racing, no contact. Doesn't mean that the drivers don't struggle. They're pumped full of adrenaline each and every moment, if there's a car next to them or not. Yeah, it's boring to watch a car drive all by itself alone on the track, but it's racing. It's not supposed to adjust itself to fit the demands of the viewer. It's a sport. It's like sprint. It's like a 100-meter sprint, alright? If someone's really fucking fast, someone's really fucking fast. He's gonna leave the others behind, and he's gonna run with a considerable gap. That shows how fucking fast he is. Just because he's not arm in arm, like position fighting with someone right next to him, doesn't mean that it's not good, because it's boring to watch. To watch the other guy run away from the others. And that is exactly what is happening in motorsports, and that is why a lot of people turn their back towards motorsports nowadays. They find it boring. Find it boring that the same people always win in Formula 1, as an example. So what? Formula 1 always was a prestigious sport. It was the best teams, the most amount of money, the the best driver, with the better sponsors, the better engines, the better cars. They always dominated. They always did. Schumacher dominated. Who else dominated? Alonso dominated 2 years because of an invention that Renault did with their car. What else? McLaren dominated. McLaren dominated back when they had the MP44. Senna dominated. Fangio dominated. It's just... Formula 1 has always been like that. It was supposed to be a sport for the most prestigious people in the most prestigious places of the world, with the most prestigious cars, the most prestigious teams, and the most amount of money on the table. It's always been like that. No one has ever complained. Suddenly we start complaining, oh, we want more gimmicks, because the racing is boring. I feel like the average person nowadays has an attention span of a goldfish. Just because if, as an example, I'm running VLN, right, and it doesn't go well, if I'm mid-pack, if there's a huge gap in front of me and a huge gap behind me, and I'm trying to do my absolute best to catch up, that doesn't mean it's boring to me just because there's no one around me. I'm giving it my best. I'm pumping. I'm being pumped full of adrenaline. I'm trying to run as fast as I can. As fast as I possibly can. That doesn't mean it's boring. And it shouldn't be boring to watch. Because it should be exciting to see the struggle of the drivers. Maybe one thing I agree with is how much emphasis is always put on people. The cameras and broadcasts. They always pick themselves the leaders, as an example. The leader is running his pace, he was running away from the field. What use is there to keep observing him? To do a TV cam, a flyby cam, different views of his car running away from people. That I agree. That's a bit boring. The broadcasters, that's where we need to change. Not the racing. The broadcasters need to do a better job at focusing on the action. Because there will always be action on the track. Maybe there will be an overtaking, right? Maybe it's not a fight for the lead. Maybe it's a fight for 5th or 6th or 12th. Maybe cars are fighting. Maybe they don't overtake each other in the end, but they're fighting, they're struggling, they're giving it their all. Give them some TV spotlight time. Not the nice little leader car that is running away from people, to give them more like viewing time for the sponsors. That's bull in my opinion. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a small little fish, I guess. I haven't entered the prestigious world of the motorsport. And even if I do enter motorsport as a hobby, just be a small little fish in the water. My dream is to participate in the Nürburgring 24-hour race. I don't care if I run GT3 cars there, or if I run a little Seat Cup car, or a Volkswagen, or a BMW. Maybe I'm in the lowest class. One thing I'll know for certain is that I will not get any broadcasting time, because the broadcasting time is always and has always been on the GT3 cars, in the highest class they're running, SP9. You can't make it to fame as a small little fish in motorsport. But you know what? you can fucking enjoy yourself. Even if you're running with the worst team in the worst class, you probably can enjoy yourself. Except if you're what were they called? Life in 1990 Formula One, the Life team. I think there was this famous time in Imola where there were five. I'm not making this up. I think I've gotten this. Someone said this in a video about the car. So I hope his sources are accurate. They were 5 minutes off the pace in Imola. You heard this right. Imola's got about a 2-minute lap time, alright? They were 5 minutes off the pace. That means they have been lapped in the same lap twice. If I remember correctly, that was during qualifying, though maybe they didn't even participate in the race, but maybe something happened to their car. I only knew that the engines were really unreliable, the car was slow, and probably the worst Formula 1 car of all time. But hey, enough rambling about, I guess. We were here to participate driving, we've already lost out on 2 laps. So let me finish up my cigarette and we'll go right again. We want to look at data. So 9 minutes 55. Our tires, well, I can check. Oops. I don't want to change tires quite yet. I also don't want to refuel. Yeah. Where is it? My tire information. So 96% on the left front tire at the inside wall, I think, if I'm being correct with this. There was the out lap and a lap, so 2 laps. So yeah, 2% per lap. So it's about accurate, technically. I think it will fall off a little bit because you can see it's probably being rounded up, I guess. Earlier we had 98 across the whole tire. Alright, my stream died just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's fine. It is fine. Don't know what just happened. OBS lost connection. Of course, it could just be that we didn't use upward tires as much as the last time. Correctly. I was not too good through there, but better than last time, I guess. Much better. I like that, especially the accent. We are getting lighter, of course. Of course, like 1 gallon shouldn't have too much of an effect. That was not good. And this time will not count. Sector time. The earlier sector counted. What I did this time was I didn't go off the throttle and accepted the fact that I will hit the curb. And it seemed to be working in specific cases. That was nice and tidy through that. I'll stay in 4th gear this time. Let's see how it compares. It's faster. Is it faster? Oh. Okay, that's not faster. You know, we still beat our top time, but first 1 pound because I went off track there at the chicane. So we're losing all of that time because of that missed shift. All the time, we'll just throw this car around this. Head up a bit, I guess. Head up some. It was a nice hairpin there. What if we stay in 5th, then go down to 4th, then go down to 3rd? I can feel the understeer. Now technically this was faster except for the exit, which I butchered. It wasn't much slower, so we want to be careful now. Hit the curb, oh good. But I hit the curb the last time as well, so we won't lose too much time. There's time through there yet. I was gliding through there. Paid off. No. Not good. Not as good. Could have been better. This was terrible. This was good. The Notchlight is just one of these tracks where literally every corner matters, but there's so many of them. Let's shift up here. We'll gain a little bit of time because the last time we were hitting the ref limiter. Good exit, very good exit. So we're still in the red. That will change in a second, I think. Hopefully. Same time. Oh, I lost. Need to remember to fully depress the clutch. Right, suicide run. Now, even though I think it was worse going through the carousel this time, we still made up some speed that we carried around the corner, which I didn't anticipate. That was not that good. Very bad. Absolutely bad. And this would have killed us in the VLN race, and I'm going to show you exactly why. This is center now. I'm going to show you why this is so important. That was a normal turn. That was a normal speed, normal steering wheel input, but we still spun. Why? Because our tires in the front were bent. Suspension destroyed. Steering arm destroyed. Tire probably bent outwards or inwards of the car's chassis. In short terms, you would have to drive this car back into the pits immediately. Of course, you would lose about 10 seconds, or maybe even probably more, 10 to 20 seconds to get it from this position, where we were lucky to crash it here and not in the starting section of the Nordschleife. You would lose about 10 to 20 seconds to get it back into the pits. The VLN endurance race has one benefit over other endurance race series in iRacing. You get one free repair. What that means is that it repairs your car instantaneously, no repair time. Of course, that's not very realistic, but just for lore reasons, let's say that we brought a spare car. Okay, we brought one spare car. Everyone can bring one spare car. We drive into the pits, we change into a spare car. Of course, it's a bit quicker. Let's say it's like in the MotoGP series where you've got the car already sitting next to you. Let's say we Superman jump out of our car while we already loosened our seatbelt before rolling into the pits. Then we Superman jump into the other car and then fasten our seatbelts while we're driving out of the pits. You would still, the 10 to 20 seconds you lose from getting into the pits, then the 20 seconds you would lose from driving through the pits at speed limiter, of course, 37 miles per hour. And then driving, it's stopping and then accelerating again, you would probably lose about a minute of time. A minute of time is fatal. If that happens during a race, you don't fight for lead anymore. You fight for whatever kind of position you can get. Whatever is best. Now, usually it would check for what the cause of the accident was, but it is whenever it gets back to it. There you go. There is the accident. We drive into the corner, we understeer, get on the grass. Basically what happens, we can see this in the like looking at crashes because, you know, you can always find something that you can improve the next time you're in that situation. We get on the grass, we start spinning towards the right, we countersteer towards the left. We already countersteered too much, so the car wants to go into a snap spin. But we overestimated that force, that it goes into a snap spin, so we countersteered again towards the right very hard, which is bad. So we're snap spinned again towards the right again. So again, very hard towards the left, and we managed to not hit the barrier with the nose of a car, but with the side of a car. That is the only thing that saved our engine. If you kill your engine, then you've got a tow. Towing from this position takes at least 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Then the pits, of course. You have to drive out of the pits again. The problem with that is that you don't lose 2 minutes in 10 seconds. You lose more. You lose exactly 1 lap plus 2 minutes plus 10 seconds. If that happens during a race and you blow your engine out, you're a backmarker. You have become a backmarker with one stupid accident like that. Now I would love to be in the situation again, because I think if I just held the steering wheel towards the left and let it slide gently towards the right again, we would have saved it. Then braked for the corner and then went on a merry way. Of course, the sector time was invalid because basically I wanted to enter this corner as quickly as possible. And remember when I said that you have to keep up your momentum, but the slow in, fast out still applies at some places? This is a place where it applies, because I went in too fast, I didn't hit my apex at the right point, and I failed to minimize the understeer. Understeer, grass, oversteer, catch, oversteer, catch. Dead. Now, remember when we went for this corner and we spun? Well, this is our tires. This one's fine. This one is not fine. You can see how it bends. And the front one is also pushed in, which means that our wheelbase is in a terrible terrible situation. How can I show this the best? Oh, I mean, you can already kinda see what I mean with that, right? Oops. Look at this amazing wheelbase now. It looks completely fine, doesn't it? Absolutely fine. And this is how quickly it can go and you die. And we don't want that. Especially not during an important race that only comes around once every while.